happy day 11. We have rain. Can you hear that? It is glorious. I'm interested in knowing what y'all call these little things. We call them doodle bugs, or I've always called them doodle bugs. You can see they make little holes in the ground, and they wait for little insects to come and get trapped. And as the little insect tries to climb out, the doodle bug, you'll actually see it flick the sand, will try to catch the insects. It's pinchers. And oh, there it goes. Whoa. Well, hello there. Welcome to the shed after hours. Just kidding. I'm in such a better mood today. It is officially October the 11th, and we have rain. Have missed rain, which is kind of why this is happening, because the curls are non-controllable right now. And even though we don't have electricity out here, I need to show y'all my lighting setup. This is probably not the safest way to have a lighting setup, but this is what we're rolling with right now. A ring light on top of a ladder so it can be a ceiling light. Also, I want to point out that I have a ginormous hula hoop attached to my doorway because that is the perfect width and circle how I want my entryway to be. So I'm going to get some plywood and trace that, and then I'm going to be able to have the circle walkway that I want. So walking through the house with this thing and bringing it out here, and my husband was like, "Where are you going with the hula hoop? Don't hurt yourself." And I'm like, "Oh no, I'm not hula hooping. I'm using it to trace a walkway." And he was just like, "Okay." But we are out here because we are going to talk about Vlogtober day 11. And I have some things to show you. So I have been working on my crocheted shawl that I showed for yesterday that did not get uploaded till late this afternoon. And I apologize. We have had some crazy internet issues for about a week and a half, and we called. They came out last week and they thought they fixed it, but I began to realize that each time the wind blows, our signal just goes zero. And it's been pretty windy lately. You've seen in some of my videos. I think another limb has fallen on the line, which just happens to be the power line and the cable internet, because our power blinked like crazy this morning as well. And unfortunately, we actually live in such a rural area that we are considered not a priority at all. So if anybody in the area loses power or electricity, we're literally one of the last streets to get it turned on, which kind of stinks. So we've had to invest in a really nice generator, and we've just kind of learned to deal with it over the years. But we're not out here to talk about my internet, because I will get these out as soon as I can, I promise. I'm happy to say that I rewound my cake, because I was so embarrassed when I got that thing out of the bag and I looked at it and I was like, oh my. I don't know what happened. Usually I keep my project's a little bit tidier than that. So it has been rewound. So look, it's all nice and tidy in the little label. And it's even squishier now, which is pretty amazing. I'm now doing a double crochet area after that 3-dimensional stitch that I did. And then I think I'm gonna do some more eyelets, and then maybe bring in some more of these puff stitches. I know people hate puff stitches, but I kind of like them. I think they're fun, and I love how they look. But this thing does bring me a lot of joy working on it, and it just feels so wonderful, and it's going to be so pretty when it's done. I'm really excited. This is actually my second shawl ever to crochet. My first one was a pattern put out by Marley Bird. She actually had it put into Simply Knitting, I think, in 2017. I'll link it down below. When I got the pattern, it was literally her handwritten version that she had photocopied and sent to me, and it was called the Galis and Claire shawl, because she made it as part of the Outlander series. And I think by the time it got to publication, it was called the Camilla shawl. But it was pretty fun. That was my first time really getting to test knit or test crochet a pattern in a really, really raw form. I mean, it was literally her handwriting on some paper. And that really set up my love affair of testing. And I really want to do some more tests this upcoming year. That's why I gotta get my hooks and needles cleaned off so I can not feel so bad about having so many works in progress. I have not done anything with my West Knit shawl. Like I said, I am really holding out till tomorrow. And I don't think I mentioned it in the video that I put out from yesterday. But when I had that conversation with my husband, it was very eye-opening, his out of the Knitiverse insight on it. And he mentioned something along the lines of, is it worth letting your joy go hanging on to the pinwheel? And I honestly don't think it is. And I can honestly say now that I've said that and I've had some time for it to kind of muster within my soul, that I do feel like a weight has lifted off of me, and I feel pretty confident about moving forward with a new design. It's not going to be the Clue one that Stephen West's designed though, because I don't like that square. So I'm not doing that. I'm really thinking about doing something in Tarja, and it would be my only second time to ever do Intarsia, but I just really want to do Intarsia, so I probably am really going to do Intarsia. So I think some point tonight or tomorrow I'm going to kind of try to finalize that. And it's so funny because I'm in the kitchen finishing up the ribs that I showed earlier, and he came in the house and he was like, were you expecting an Amazon package today? And I'm like, no, I didn't buy anything, because I tend to pre-order books a lot and then I tend to forget about them and then they just pop up. And that's pretty much what happened. But ironically, the book that popped up is this Knit Ovation Stitch Dictionary, and I pre-ordered this like I think the day that pre-orders opened up. And since I've been already contemplating, you know, doing that color work in the center, seeing this and having this come when I did not expect it at all really helped kind of support and solidify those feelings and emotion. I haven't got to actually go through this yet. I just kind of like skimmed through it, but even my husband was like, well, that's a cool book. And I'm like, well, yes, it is. And I'm pretty excited about it. I really think I want to do color work from my center. And so I'm kind of debating, do I want to go ahead and start on something? I want to wait till Thursday. I think I'm going to be wise and wait till Thursday and kind of see what the surrounding pattern is going to be, and then go from there. I'm obviously not going to be caught up with everybody, and I'm just going to have to deal with that personally. So I may get a little grumpy about it. I apologize. It's fine. I did show in yesterday's video that lovely palette, and I want to show that like for real and talk about that. And that is in a bag that I actually sewed up. So I'm not a amazing seamstress, I guess that's the term that the sewers use. I'm not one of those. I'm not amazing, but I can sew. I mean, I can put some thread in the machine and I can put out an item. And this is something that I made a while back. It is a flat bottom pumpkin bag, and it has interfacing on the bottom so it stays open. It's very sparkly. I don't know if it's not showing up. This bag has so much glitter on it, and this is probably the one bag that my husband hates more than anything I have in our house, because the glitter like leaves little fairy dust everywhere. And he hates glitter, but I think it's funny. I love the little pumpkin faces all over it. But I pulled this yarn because I thought about starting over in a fresh new palette. But the more I thought about it today, and then the more I realized how much I loved that modular pinwheel knitting, I do think I'm gonna actually remake that pinwheel, but in a new palette, and not use any other Stephen West designs with that, and just kind of do my own thing. So I've already started kind of mentally preparing how I want the rest of that shawl to go, and I want to make it bright and cheerful. So I was going to show you the yarn as some daily fiber, as Dee would say, and I don't even remember what color this is. I think this was gifted to me, but it's a bright green with some orange specks. And then I picked out some Invictus Yarn Reward. The colorway is called The Pit. So it's this really dark, inky black blue. It's kind of like a black blue. And then I picked out a skein of the Sand Bar, I think is what it is. Sand Bank in Malabrigo sock. So really pretty sand color. I mean, it's really pretty. It's super soft. Then I picked out this random skein. I remember buying this. This was one of my first hand dyes I ever bought, and it was actually off of eBay. And I paid $9.99 for this. I just haven't used it, but I like it. It's 400 yards of a fingering weight yarn, but it is dyed really well. It's really pretty. And I had another colorway of it, and I used it, and I didn't have any bleed off. I mean, it was actually a really nice dye job. And I tried to refine that person's eBay shop, and they no longer dye yarn or sell on there, which is kind of sad. With this, I picked out this House of La Mode, and this stuff is just stunning. This is their house fingering weight. It's colorway Bloom, and it is from the Stardust collection. It is a 2-ply superwash 80/20 base, 400 yards, 100 grams. But do you see how stunning this is? Like, this is just such a happy yarn. But I think using, and I had a pink, and I really thought I brought the pink with me, but I don't know what to do with it. I think that's going to be really cool to do something really geometrical in with that pinwheel. And I'm not going to do like the original pinwheel. I'm going to do the modified color block version. So I don't know when I'm going to cast that on, because I need to knock out some of my lips, but that's definitely going to be a thing at some point. I just found the pinkish purple. I had dropped it in the floor. There it is. It's super pretty. I don't know what it is. It was gifted to me as well. I am always willing to give fingering weight yarns a good home and provide them in a knit or crochet that they're worthy of living in. So just keep that in mind. It's actually funny I say that. So yesterday I also showed my mitered square blanket, and I call mine my Cozy Memories blanket. And that is because originally I heard that from Molly from Homespun House. I used to watch her vlogs like all the time. Her Vlogmases are what inspired me to do Vlogmas last year, and what inspired me to do this Vlogtober, and will inspire me to do Vlogmas this year. But I really love the way that she does her videos, and that's kind of where I get the creative juices, I guess, to come up with my videos. And a long time ago, she made this video and she talked about her Cozy Memories blanket that she had started, and it's just a mitered square blanket. And she actually did the same diamond where the decreases create that diamond shape that you could see in mine. And I just love that. So I really wanted to create one of those, and that's why I started mine. And my Cozy Memories blanket, I call it that because I got that from her, but all of those little squares are actually memories. Some of that yarn, well, most of the yarn is stuff that I've actually knit previously. So it's just leftovers that I put in that blanket. And if you look at that Ravelry page, I'll link it down below. I number each square and I keep up with it and take a photo. And then I keep up in the notes section where that yarn came from. And people have sent me yarn that I have used in that blanket, and I link them. And if they tell me the project, I actually link their project page too. So I just think it's this really cool thing to share with the community of people that I interact in, who send me yarn, knowing that there always be a part of me in this blanket, and knowing that when I use that blanket and when I knit on that blanket and I touch those squares, I am reliving the memory of how that yarn got to me, and basically reliving their kind of project and thinking of them and sending them well thoughts and wishes. And I just think that's super fun, and that's one of my favorite projects. I don't work on it near enough, but that's something right now. I have so much going on, and I'm so ready to get to a point where I just have that balance in everything, and I am able to work on more things more. The last thing I want to do today is open a little Happy Mail that came to me. This was sent from Dawn, who is Yarn Doll Dawn. She has a YouTube channel. She does a lot of late night lives, and she does crocheting. So if you're a late night owl and you want to hang out with other knitters and crocheters, then, give her channel a look. I'll tag her down below. I'm always in bed asleep by the time that she is on live. But I like to support as many channels as I can and hop around and leave thumbs and comments and just share the yarny fluffy love. And she sent me a little stitch marker because she had a giveaway on one of her lives that I won. And she sent me 3 little stitch markers. Oh, those are cute. I have a slight stitch marker obsession. Have a lot from Simply Serving, Lindsay, I don't think you'll ever watch this, but like, your creativity is just amazing. And I want to make something to put out here, a wall hanging to kind of hang all mine, to display them. So that's also something I want to make for the future. But these are the cute little stitch markers that Dawn sent me. There is 2 hearts and there is a key. The hearts say something. Made with love. Oh, that's cute. I'm surprised I could read that. I am turning 43, you know. But yeah, those are super adorable. I really appreciate those. Thank you. I'm actually going to use one of them today. And thank you for the sweet card, Dawn. That is very nice. I always keep my cards that are sent to me. And when I get project bags from different crafters and they put like a card or a note in there, I always keep those with the bag. So Bags by Awesome Granny is one of my favorite bag makers. But she always sends like a little note in her bag, and every one of my bags that I have gotten from her, the original notes are still in there, and some of them are close to 8 or 9 years old, but I've hung on to those little notes because I don't want to say I'm sentimental, but I kind of am. Like, I don't like to admit that I'm sentimental, but things have meaning to me, and I think it's important to show respect to things, especially people's time. And when people take the time to do something like that to me, I want to give it the respect and the reciprocated time that it deserves. I love little moments like that with random people that I say one day that I may meet, but then again, I may never get to meet. But we still were able to bond over some silly string. And I think that's what makes this community so amazing. There's so many different views, and there's so many different ideologies, and there's so many different beliefs. But for the most part, I know there's always going to be conflict. I mean, that's the world that we live in. But for the most part, as a community, all of our little threads get intertwined, and we're able to have a bond over string. Over string. It's crazy. It's so amazing to me. Across the world, I've seen people even make comments from Germany, and I have someone from India, and it's just, I never would have thought that my little rants about my love of yarn would have grown to this much, and I am super grateful. And it really reassures me that maybe I am spreading the love and inspiration that I set out to do. And that brings me joy. Lots of joy.